Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. We have some shocking developments to discuss, so grab a snack, get comfortable, and let's get right into it. EJ DiMera, if you are somehow listening to this, you need to wake up immediately because your daughter is in grave danger. Yes, you heard me right. We need to sound the absolute highest alarm in Salem right now. We all watched in sheer horror as Kristen DiMera orchestrated one of the most vile, unforgivable plots in recent history when she actively tried to murder her own nephew, Johnny DiMera. And after her twisted little assassin, Sophia Choi, completely failed to take Johnny out, Kristen is not just walking away. Oh no, she is pivoting. And she is pivoting hard. We are now seeing Kristen shift to a terrifying divide and conquer strategy. And her brand new target is none other than EJ's daughter, Sydney DiMera. I am literally shaking just thinking about what this psycho has planned next. Let's be real for a second about what just went down between EJ and Kristen. When EJ finally connected the dots and realized that his own sister sent Sophia to kill his son, he went into a completely blind, screaming rage. And honestly, I am totally on EJ's side here. I know EJ is a villain half the time, but Johnny is his boy. The fact that Kristen could look EJ in the eye and feel absolutely zero remorse for trying to end Johnny's life proves that she has completely lost her mind. She is a full-blown psychopath. But because Johnny survived, Kristen knows she missed her shot. EJ is currently plotting a massive revenge scheme against her, likely planning to kidnap her or worse. But Kristen is always playing 4D chess, and she knows exactly where EJ is the most vulnerable. And you won't believe what happens next. Out of nowhere, Kristen suddenly makes a phone call to her niece, Sydney DiMera. Yes, Sydney. We have not seen Sydney on our screens in years. She has been living safely over in Europe with her mother, Sami Brady, since 2014. The fact that Kristen is suddenly reaching out to her after all this time is the biggest, brightest red flag I have ever seen. Why on earth would Kristen be calling Sydney behind EJ's back? They have never been close. Kristen has never been the doting aunt. This is a calculated, sinister move designed to inflict maximum psychological torture on EJ. To really understand the gravity of this, we have to look back at the history of Sydney DiMera. Longtime fans will remember the absolute chaos surrounding Sydney's birth. This poor girl has been a pawn in Salem's twisted games since the literal day she was born. Remember the iconic switched at birth storyline? Nicole Walker famously stole Sydney from Sami, passing the baby off as her own with EJ, while Sami was left grieving for a child that wasn't even hers. Sami fought tooth and nail, through blood, sweat, and tears, to get her daughter back. Sydney represents Sami's ultimate triumph and her deepest trauma. So for Kristen to suddenly start sniffing around Sydney, it is a recipe for an absolute disaster. A lot of fans think Kristen is just calling Sydney to warn her to stay away from Salem because it's too dangerous right now. But I actually think the complete opposite. I think Kristen is actively trying to lure Sydney into a trap. Think about it. Kristen is completely isolated right now. She has alienated everyone. What if she is trying to poison Sydney's mind against EJ and Sami? Kristen is a master manipulator. She could easily be feeding Sydney lies, telling her that EJ doesn't care about her, that he only cares about Johnny and DiMera Enterprises. Kristen wants to turn EJ's own flesh and blood into a weapon against him. It is exactly the kind of sick, twisted revenge Stefano DiMera would have used. But here's the kicker. Where is Sami Brady in all of this? Because if there is one person on this earth you do not cross, it is Samantha Jean Brady. Sami despises Kristen. Their history is filled with epic slaps, screaming matches, and pure, unadulterated hatred. I am heavily biased here, but I am Team Sami all the way. Sami has kept Sydney tucked away safely in Europe for over a decade, specifically to protect her from the toxic wasteland that is the DiMera family. There is absolutely no way Sami would ever approve of Kristen calling her daughter. If Sami finds out that Kristen is trying to manipulate Sydney, Sami will go nuclear. She will fly back to Salem and literally burn the DiMera mansion to the ground with Kristen inside it. And let's look at EJ's current state of mind, because he is completely dropping the ball as a father right now. EJ is incredibly distracted. Instead of focusing 100% of his energy on protecting his family from his psychotic sister, he is busy obsessing over Cat Green. We literally just saw EJ seething with insane, petty jealousy because he watched Chad and Belle kissing on a kiss cam at a baseball game. So what does EJ do? He tries to use Cat Green to make Belle jealous. It is so childish. Meanwhile, he is also up to his neck in the disaster with Dr. Rolf and Lexi Carver's failing resurrection serum. EJ is taking his eye off the ball, and Kristen is slithering right into his blind spot to target Sydney. I think this move by EJ to focus on his own petty romantic drama is a huge mistake because it leaves his children completely exposed. Kristen thrives in the shadows. If she can get Sydney on a plane to Salem without EJ or Sami knowing, she has the ultimate bargaining chip. What if Kristen kidnaps Sydney? She could hold her hostage to guarantee her own safety from EJ's revenge plot. EJ can't kill Kristen if Kristen has his daughter stashed away in some secret DiMera tunnel. It is a brilliant, terrifying strategy. Kristen is using the classic DiMera playbook. If you can't defeat your enemy directly, you destroy the things they love the most. We also have to consider the psychological damage this could do to Sydney. She is a young woman who has been kept away from the dark side of her family for most of her life. If Kristen gets her claws into her, she could completely corrupt her. We have seen it happen so many times on this show. Innocent kids come back to Salem and are immediately dragged into the mud. I desperately hope that Sydney is smart enough to see right through her Aunt Kristen's lies. But Kristen is incredibly persuasive, especially when she plays the victim card. She might convince Sydney that EJ is the real monster who is trying to kill his own sister. I am just so incredibly invested in this potential storyline. The stakes have never been higher. Kristen has crossed a line that you simply cannot uncross. You do not go after a man's children. EJ is already a dangerous man, but a desperate EJ trying to save his daughter? That is going to be explosive television. And honestly, I am begging the writers to bring Allison Sweeney back as Sami for this. We need Sami back in Salem to defend her cub. The dynamic between Sami, EJ, and Kristen all fighting over Sydney would be absolute soap opera gold. It honors the rich history of the show while pushing the current drama to its absolute limit. So what do you guys think about all of this madness? Are you as terrified for Sydney DiMera as I am? Do you think Kristen is planning to kidnap her or just brainwash her against EJ and Sami? And most importantly, do you think this is finally the storyline that brings Sami Brady back to Salem to unleash her wrath? Drop your wildest theories and predictions down in the comments below because I need to talk about this with people who understand the crazy lore of this show. Keep your eyes peeled, guys, because Kristen DiMera is on the warpath and nobody is safe. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I will catch you all in the next update.